Yes.
Yeah, can we maybe turn on the lights, maybe? I'm not sure.
Is dat hier?
Maybe that will work with the slides.
Yeah.
Maybe not that much.
Beter? Yeah? Right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Thijs. I am an app developer at the research group at West University of Applied Science in Bruges. And recently, I did some digging about generative fill AI and Flutter, and I enjoyed myself while experimenting with it. So I wanted to share or give a short high-level talk about it on how I did it. So there was one of our projects, we had to develop an app, and we had this kind of image edit feature where you could just drag elements inside an image, which then gets flattened again to one image, just to edit, to add some elements to something. And then, of course, like many developers, you get the question, can't you do something with AI? And I said, okay, sure, I'll try. So I did some digging, and then I came across the generative fill AI. So you have these large language models coming up, and after that, you had these large multimodal models, and they're becoming better and better in editing or creating images. And generative fill AI is one of those AI models. And they use, it's a long definition, it uses text prompts to add or remove content non-destructively in images, allowing users to manipulate and enhance photos with AI-generated elements. In short, if you want a frog on your image, then you can just insert it by giving it a prompt and some region where you want the frog to appear on your image. So how is that done, or how does it work? It's actually, if you don't have to train the model yourself, it's quite easy. You just have to, the input you give to the model is just the original image. You have to somehow create a mask. We call that a mask, that's the black image over there with the white spot. And you give it a prompt. That mask is just showing or giving information to the model about where you want the object to appear. So it knows a little bit so it can learn in that white area the context of the image, and then it can place your requested sticker or whatever you want to add. For example, if you want, say, a person's pushing a stroller along the sidewalk, the person is a mother with blonde hair and elegant clothing, the stroller is deep red of color, you show that error, and then, okay, the woman appears with the stroller. This is not always that perfect. I came across a lot of weird generations as well. So I'm not sure if the demo is going to go well, but let's see how it goes. My biggest issue was, or the biggest challenge during my exploration was, how can I create that mask over there? So that was the thing I had the most, I had to think about, because these AI models, I couldn't train them myself. You can try at least, but if you want a general model that can create anything you want, you need a lot of data, a lot of examples, and that's just not feasible for us at West to do that, to train such a model. So you make use of the models that are online, and there's a lot of APIs you can just use to generate those, or these API endpoints to generate your images or your generative fill AI. For example, the demo I will show is with Imagen Art API you can use just to generate your what you want. So the mask, and that is also the reason I wanted to give a lightning talk about it, because I found a way how to do it in Flutter, but I'm sure there are more elegant ways. I'm going to show you how I did it, and the last slide is just my LinkedIn connection. If you have some better idea, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to learn or to hear how you would have solved it. So what I did was, finally I could use a custom paint widget. I was wanting to use that for some feature, so I finally found my feature to create a mask. So I wanted to draw on the picture just to start coloring on my picture the area I wanted to change, and for that I used the custom paint widget. I wrapped it into a listener widget so it could detect my finger strokes when I started touching the screen, moving it around, and then letting go of the screen. So that was on one sketch. And on every sketch I made, it creates an object and it renders it on the screen. Of course, each sketch is defined within the area as a paint object here. Kudos to the guy who wrote a YouTube tutorial. It's one of the Google developers, I think. He learned me a lot about using the custom paint widgets, so I wanted to include his, his link to it. So after creating the mask, after providing your prompt, prior to posting the request, we need to create a mask. So we drew on the picture, but there is no black image with that white spot over there. It needs to be a black image with a white color. If you just start using other colors, you might get some weird results. So for some reason, I had to try to convert that sketch into that actual mask I could send to the API. So for that creation of the mask, I used actually a stack widget, which has 3 widgets on top of each other: the mask, which you don't see, the original image, and the mask painter. So the original image is what you can see, the mask painter is on what you are drawing, and the mask is actually created by copying the paint objects, converting them into a white paint object, and then the mask is just actually a container widget who has a black background, and then the mask, the white objects are just rendered on top of it. But you can't see it. You never see it because I don't want the people to see that mask. That's just what I need, but they don't need to see it. And then to capture everything, I used the repaint boundary widget, which just takes actually a screenshot of what you are rendering on your screen. But the good thing is you can enhance that image. It doesn't take the pixels on the screen. You can really enhance it to an actual size of an image. So I just wrapped it into a repaint boundary, my mask, and my original image. I made sure that the image height and width matches the mask's image height and width, because if you give different sizes to that image and the mask, that's also not very good, or your results won't be as good. Or you might even get an exception from your endpoint. Not sure what will happen then. But after that, we have our mask, we have our original image, we can send that to the API, and then we can have some results. So, I still have time to show something? Yeah. So, here we have, I selected an image, for example. I can use, with my pencil size, I can just start coloring, for example, the grass here. So this is what I want to change in my image. Then I enter a prompt. For example, add some zebras grazing to on the grass. I create my mask, I send it to the endpoint, and hopefully internet is fast and I get no socket exceptions or something else, but we need to wait approximately 20 seconds for the model to generate or regenerate the image, and hopefully that will work. Always nice. Okay, we have something. You can't see it, so let me accept it. And there we have the zebras grazing on the grass, and you have your edited image. Thank you, demo gods. Okay, so like the repaint boundary, I was a little bit in doubt if that is the best way I can solve this. For my application, I always make use of the square images like you have on Instagram, so that wasn't an issue. But if you start having different sizes of images or some other things, if you have any better ideas or more elegant ways, feel free to let me know. I'm always happy to learn something new. So yeah, that was it. That was my lightning talk. Thank you for listening.